within them and a lot of loud thunder as well. So here we go again. You can see the roads are wet and we do have the heavy rain. Let's take a look at what's going on in Dallas as we track the storm coming on through. Here we go with the radar right now. Very heavy rain. Where you see the reds on the radar, that's indicating where we have the heaviest of rain. Visibility is going to be reduced dramatically by these thunderstorms as they blow on through, and the winds with it is going to make it tough to control your car. So if you start hydroplaning, combination of things is going to make it difficult to maintain control. Wait it out. It's early. Hopefully you can wait to get out on the roads because we're going to time it out for you. This morning, of course, we have these thunderstorms affecting the rush, but by later today, things will improve. By lunchtime already, the rain out of here. And while it's going to be a breezy day, it's not going to be nearly as windy as the kind of wind we had last week. So certainly the evening rush, much, much better in the Dallas area. All right, let's go ahead now and look ahead through the rest of the week and the weekend in view, Steph. This storm is one to track.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's going across the entire country. So I just posted on Twitter and Facebook, don't tune us out if you live along the East Coast because this is headed your way. We're all going to be affected by this east of the Mississippi. So today, there are your thunderstorms. Let's move it into Wednesday. Now, the dynamics are going to be more to the north, so we don't anticipate big severe weather there, but there's a threat for thunderstorms. There it is on Thursday along the East Coast. As we head into our Friday, it clears out, which is nice, and then we calm down as we head into the weekend. Perfect timing, Mother Nature, right? We do have a little bit of snow as we head into our Saturday with our next system, and then into our Sunday. It could be a little bit soggy into the northeast, but overall, it's going to be very quiet through a big chunk of the country. Coming up next, we are going to talk about the tornadoes that have been reported. How many? We've seen at least 15.
So let's take a look at this image. Starla Hamilton snapped this of the supercell in Pampa, Texas. You're looking west, and we know that because of the sun. You can see the whole supercell, the lowering wall cloud, as you can see right here. I have a bit of a glare, so it's hard for me to see right in here. And you see the funnel. And it is from this vantage point. It's hard to see if it's on the ground or
if
not.
it's on the ground.
We
showed a picture earlier this hour, and Jim pointed out the debris field, so you can notice it. It's kind of cloudy at the bottom.
From this perspective, when the person took the picture, it may not have been touched the ground just yet. There were reports of the Pampa, Texas tornado as estimating a mile wide.
I know, and we're talking about a stretch of severe weather that's 400 miles. Guys, we got millions of people under the threat today.
All right. So
you know what's interesting? You said the tornado was a mile wide?
And there was one estimate of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine what the whole system, right? How many miles wide the whole cell is. Okay. So one of the reasons that we're getting this tornado outbreak, by the way, this is considered an outbreak, is because
the main game in town, the biggest game in town, but not the only issue. We had flooding yesterday in South Florida. And we're going to see that moisture continue to move in there as well again today. All right. So taking the rain and tracking it for you today, we are looking at scattered showers already moving into West Tennessee, into portions of Western Kentucky, heavy rain in Paducah. This rain on the move is going to be a big deal. We're expecting the risk for severe weather, but also the risk for flooding, and especially right across the Mississippi Valley, Arkansas, West Tennessee, up into Missouri and southern Illinois. We are concerned about too much rain causing flooding. More on this continuing through the morning right here on AMHQ. We return back after your local on the 8th.
Alongside Storm Tracker Jim Cantori, and we're going to start you off with a severe weather threat as that is starting to really pop off from the Denver to the Houston area. Out there in the snow and also those cold temperatures as well from Castle Rock, I should say. Let's take you hour by hour now and show you how it's going to be shaping up. And there it is. Again, that snow is going to be out of there by this afternoon, but it is causing some major cancellations and road closures. Anna Rudas has that.
A 70-mile stretch of 70 closed right now. Of course, we're going to have your travel update at 20 past, but let's talk about what's happening today. Nearly 20 million people under the risk of severe weather today. 5.8 million under winter alerts. Encore reporting more than 43,000 customers without power this morning across today. FlightAware reporting more than 200 U.S. flights canceled today so far. We'll have your travel update at 20 past. They're asking air traveler Steph to get to the airport early, at least 2 hours.
Understandably. Now, by the way, this entire system is going to make its way through the Midwest. We have the threat for flooding. Jen Carfagno has that coming up. And then it gets to the East Coast by Thursday. Will it clear out in time for the weekend? We'll have that forecast coming up. And then, as I mentioned, we had actual blizzard conditions just to the south of Colorado, central Illinois.
So concern for flooding. It would take anywhere from close to 2 inches to a little bit more in a 3-hour window for flash flooding to happen. And we certainly could get that. So that's why we have those flash flood watches up. Now, one thing to look at is the precipitable water, how much water vapor there is available in the atmosphere for storms to work with, right? And there's a lot of it, especially in East Texas and up to Louisiana and Arkansas. This is where, when you look at the standard deviations, we're running at about 150 to 200% of average. There's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. That's what that means. And so when it rains, it's really going to pour. You add in the convection and the thunderstorm activity, all that rain could come down at once. And that's when you run into those flooding concerns. You know, the winds at the low levels have been screaming out of the south. It's been going on for 2 days now. And plus, at the mid to upper levels, we also have winds out of the south. So moisture advection keeps on going right across this area. Severe weather concerns, East Texas, Louisiana, western Mississippi today into Arkansas as well. Tonight, we're expecting the squall line to hold together as well, and still the risk for thunderstorms causing severe weather through Mississippi. And then tomorrow, we track it through southern Alabama into southern portions of Georgia. But still, the heavy rain is going to be a big threat and probably take over as the bigger story as we get to later today into tomorrow. Now, you can see this large area in yellow, 3 to 5 inches of rain. These are the areas we're concerned about flooding. In Memphis, we mentioned you a couple of times. You are right in that area. Let's go over now to Anna Rittis with a look at what's new this morning. Good morning, Anna Rittis.
Good morning, Jen, and good morning to you at home. A lot of people taking to Twitter to talk about how they were awakened by tornado sirens today. The Weather Channel has a preliminary count of at least 15 tornadoes.
Yeah, it's major temperature drops. This is very much like a spring storm. And by the way, don't tune us out if you live along the East Coast, because this is headed in your direction. So Tuesday, boom, right into the center of the country. Wednesday, the threat of severe weather by the Gulf Coast. We don't think it's going to be like we've seen the last couple of days, because much of the dynamics are up into Canada. Thursday, it hits you along the East Coast, clears out by Friday. We have another system coming in into our Friday forecast. And then on Saturday, it's right into the center of the country. Sunday, it starts to kind of peter out along the East Coast, and it's going to quiet down here for a lot of us. But look at those temperatures. Chicago, 34 degrees. Jen.
Coming up, hope you enjoyed your days of sunshine in the southeast this week. Clouds and rain on the way, plus another 3 to 5 inches of snow.
Airport FlightAware is showing 136 cancellations at Denver International. They're asking people, there's a live look at Denver right now, which the downtown doesn't look bad.
The roads look great. I mean, of course, they're used to handling the winter weather here. And you can see that there is some snow cover on the ground out here. It's an inch, maybe 2 inches in a few local areas. It hasn't been much snow. The wind is a big issue. Anna Rittis just gusted to 57 miles per hour at the Denver International Airport.
You were checking those observations. Let's head a little south from Denver and show you I-25, and you can notice the whiteout conditions. We've got so many closures. Okay, so
I mean, there's cars here that
you see the
barely
headline.
See.
This is 25 just north of Castle Rock.
And this is where there's some elevation, and this is where we're getting the bigger accumulation amounts, but also the winds are gustier.
Yeah, so you got 70 with a 77-mile stretch shut down because from Aurora all the way down to Lyman, because of this heavy snow and the whiteout conditions, and a number of other roads also shut down this morning.
And the wind, a big deal. I mean, the wind, Denver International, just east of town, gusting to 57 miles per hour. Those kind of winds are being felt all over the plains here. So east of Denver and south of Denver is where the worst weather is. You can see the radar right now. Some of the heaviest amounts coming down right here east of town, and then south of town, you can see the brighter colors on the radar. This is where we're going to be getting inches of snow, but the wind blowing around the snow really
going to make it
the
difficult
biggest travel
with
hazard.
the visibility.
It does improve after lunchtime today.
Steph, that's where 25 was, right there.
Good. I'm glad you pointed that out. That's good perspective. I want to show you a little something interesting on the radar here. Jim and I were just looking at this, and we were having a little, you hear the rain shadow? We have a little snow shadow going on right here. See how there's no snow right there? That's because we have the Palmer Divide right here, these mountains. And so with the winds coming from the north, they squeeze out all the snow, and then more about in the southeast.
So flooding's going to be a concern right there across the Mississippi Valley. And, that's the main game in town, but not the only game. It's been raining in South Florida, and we had some flooding yesterday, some urban flooding down in Broward County. So again, with that easterly flow, we're going to watch for more moisture and more showers and storms there as well. All right, let's take a look at what's going on hour by hour for you. We've got the rain continue to stream up into Missouri, into Kentucky, into West Tennessee. Through the day today, you're going to see very, I would say, slow eastward progression. It does move east, but we stay dry in Atlanta. You stay dry for the most part in Nashville today. It's Miami that we're going to watch for more scattered showers and storms, yet again, potentially with heavy rain. We're back with more on this big storm. We come back.
Good Tuesday, everybody. 628, and we are looking at 20 million of you under a severe weather risk. Some of them, of course, have dealt with it already this morning. Dallas, it's over for you, but moving east towards
we've already had an official tornado outbreak. We had at least 15 reported tornadoes yesterday, and we have had tornado warnings this morning. And that's only one side of the storm. Of course, we have confirmed blizzard on the backside of the storm as well.
Yeah, Denver, about a quarter of a mile, if you will, in visibility from being an official blizzard. And then, of course, we need a period of time for 3 hours, right? So either way, it's a nasty storm to be driving on I-25, I-70.
Let's get right to the tornado outbreak from last night. Dozens of reports.
Panhandle comes in. Right now, it feels like it is in the 20s in Amarillo. That's the kind of air that's coming your way. But let's talk about the air that's in place right here over the Mississippi Valley. It is humid. It is soupy. It feels tropical. We've got the dew points coming up, the moisture in place. Flash flood watches in effect here through today, as we can, and even into tonight too, as we see the rain come down. Now, heavy rain coming down in places like Paducah. Heavy rain with these thunderstorms coming into places like Springfield. It's going to be a concern today as we see the moisture continue to stream on in. We had these strong southerly winds all day yesterday, and now we're getting at the mid to upper levels some winds coming out of the south as well, bringing in the moisture. And you can see from the water vapor where we have some of the deepest moisture, especially in the mid levels of the atmosphere. That's what this shows us. It also shows us where we sort of have that spreading apart of the moisture. Look at that. We're going to see that helps to enhance the rainfall concerns. 3 to 5 inches of rain expected in this area through today.
7 to 7.5 inches. We still have blizzard warnings. Remember, a blizzard is our winds sustained at 35 or gusting frequently to 35 and visibility down to a quarter mile or less, and that has to happen for 3 hours. Now, notice the wind here. We've been getting a north wind and it's screaming from the north to the south. Look at our wind gusts here. Pueblo gusting up to 59 miles an hour. The snow is pouring down. Now, Denver, we're not going to get totally crushed. To get into some of our top 10 snow totals, we have to be at least a foot. I don't think we're going to get that because we've had this north wind for several hours. The mountains are situated north-south, so you need a little bit of an eastern component in order to force this air mass up the mountain and to snow on out. Now, the mountains just south of Denver are situated east-west, so with a north wind, you are forcing that air mass up, and when you're doing that, you are going to be squeezing more snow out of the atmosphere. So watch hour by hour here in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. As Cantori was mentioning, just like our last one, it's in and then it's out. But holy moly, look how deep this blue is. We are going to see significant totals here. We could see something like 12 to 18 inches in a lot of locations. I just posted it on my Twitter and my Facebook pages if you want to look in more detail. But there it is for you. Anywhere from Kansas all the way down to northern, basically, New Mexico, we are going to see some of those heavier snowfall totals. Continuing coverage of the severe weather threat and, of course, Ajax, after you look on the 8s.
Here along with Jim Cantori and Stephanie Abrams, very busy this morning, and we start with the severe side of this storm. Nearly 20 million people under the risk for severe weather today. It's been ongoing all night long, and it started last evening. You can see this morning severe weather threat comes on the heels of a very active night. This is video of one of at least 15 tornadoes. When the lightning flashes, you can see the large funnel illuminated in Pampa, Texas. This tornado did damage a home and multiple businesses, including Halliburton plant. Now, there was a chemical leak that I believe has been contained. Jim Cantori is here this morning, making sure you are safe when it comes to watching the radar. Jim, 2 areas with tornado warnings right now in Texas. One near Dallas, and then the other now to the north of Houston.
North and west of Houston, and that's a little bit bigger concern just because of the storm and the size of it and the